Hello and welcome to Read It, Watch It More, the channel where we explore fascinating topics from books, articles, and other sources. I'm your host, Mr. Amer, and today we're going to talk about a very important and relevant issue: gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a person causes someone to question their sanity, memories, or perception of reality. It is a way of manipulating and controlling people by distorting their beliefs and making them doubt themselves. Gaslighting can happen in various contexts, such as relationships, medical settings, or political groups. But how can we determine if someone is gaslighting us, and how can we protect ourselves from it? In this video, we'll look at some common examples, signs, and causes of gaslighting, as well as some effective ways to respond and seek help. Let's start with some examples of gaslighting. According to the web search results, gaslighting can happen in a variety of ways. Some examples include countering this is when someone questions a person's memory. They may say things such as, "Are you sure about that? You have a bad memory," or "I think you are forgetting what really happened." Withholding this involves someone pretending they do not understand the conversation or refusing to listen to make a person doubt themselves. For example, they might say, "Now you are just confusing me," or "I do not know what you are talking about." Trivializing this occurs when a person belittles or disregards how someone else feels. They may accuse them of being too sensitive or overreacting in response to valid and reasonable concerns. Denial involves a person refusing to take responsibility for their actions. They may do this by pretending to forget what happened, saying they did not do it, or blaming their behavior on someone else. Diverting with this technique, a person changes the focus of a discussion by questioning the other person's credibility. For example, they might say, "That is just nonsense you read on the internet." It is not real stereotyping. A person may intentionally use negative stereotypes about someone's gender, race, ethnicity, sexuality, nationality, or age to gaslight them. For example, they may say that no one will believe a woman if she reports abuse. These are just some of the ways that gaslighters can try to manipulate and influence others. But how does gaslighting work? How does it affect the victims? Gaslighting works by breaking down a person's trust in themselves while increasing how much they trust or depend on the abusive person. In relationships, gaslighting often begins gradually. The abusive person gains their partner's trust, sometimes with an initial honeymoon period in which there is no abusive behavior. Then, the person begins suggesting that their partner is unreliable, that they are forgetful, or that they are mentally unstable. Over time, this can cause people to question if their partner is right. The more this happens, the more power and influence the abusive person has. Unable to trust themselves, the person may start to rely heavily on their partner to recall memories or make decisions. Gaslighting can have serious consequences for the victims. It can cause them to feel confused, anxious, or unable to trust themselves. It can also damage their self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. Gaslighting can lead to depression, anxiety, insomnia, and even suicidal thoughts. Gaslighting can also make it harder for the victims to leave the abusive situation, as they may feel isolated, dependent, or guilty. So how can we recognize if we are being gaslighted, and what can we do about it? Here are some signs, causes, and tips to deal with gaslighting. Some signs that you may be a victim of gaslighting are: you feel like you are constantly walking on eggshells around the other person. You often second-guess yourself or feel like you are going crazy. You have trouble remembering things or feel like your memory is failing. You apologize a lot or feel like everything is your fault. You feel insecure, worthless, or hopeless. You have difficulty making decisions or trusting your own judgment. You feel isolated, lonely, or misunderstood. You experience changes in your mood, behavior, or health. If you notice any of these signs, you may be dealing with a gaslighter. But what causes someone to gaslight others? What are their motives and goals? According to the web search results, gaslighting is often a result of a dark psychology personality. Dark psychology is a term that refers to a set of manipulative personality traits that are comorbid with one another. The main personality traits required for a person to have a dark psychology personality are narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism, a trio of traits known as the dark triad. People who have these traits are low on honesty, humility, and agreeableness. They are also high on selfishness, cunning, and callousness. They lack empathy, remorse, and guilt. They see others as objects or tools to use for their own benefit. They have a grandiose sense of self-importance and entitlement. They are skilled at lying, deceiving, and manipulating. They are often charming, charismatic, and persuasive. People who gaslight others may have different motives and goals, depending on the context and the relationship. Some common reasons are to gain power and control over the other person or the situation, to avoid accountability or responsibility for their actions or mistakes, to boost their ego or self-image by making the other person feel inferior or dependent, to cover up their own insecurities, flaws, or failures, to exploit the other person for their resources, such as money, sex, or status, to project their own negative feelings or traits onto the other person, to create chaos, confusion, or drama for their own amusement or satisfaction. Knowing the signs and causes of gaslighting can help us identify and understand this abusive behavior. But how can we protect ourselves from it? How can we respond and seek help? Here are some effective ways to deal with gaslighting. Trust yourself and your experience. Believe in your intuition and what you know to be true. Do not let the gaslighter make you doubt your own reality or feelings. Keep a record of facts and evidence. Write down or document what the gaslighter says or does, and compare it with what you remember or know. This can help you validate your memory and perception, and also provide proof if needed. Seek support from others. Reach out to people who care about you and who can affirm your reality and feelings. Talk to someone you trust, such as a friend, family member, or therapist. Avoid isolation and seek help if you feel unsafe or overwhelmed. Set boundaries and limit contact. Do not engage with the gaslighter's lies, accusations, or manipulations. Do not try to reason with them or change their mind. Do not apologize or justify yourself. Do not give them any information or access that they can use against you. If possible, reduce or cut off contact with the gaslighter altogether. Take care of yourself and your well-being. Practice self-care and self-compassion. Do things that make you happy and healthy, such as exercising, meditating, reading, or pursuing your hobbies. Remind yourself of your strengths, values, and goals. Reclaim your identity and autonomy. Seek professional help if needed. If you are in an abusive relationship or situation, you may need professional help to get out of it safely and heal from the trauma. Contact a domestic violence hotline, a counselor, a lawyer, or any other resource that can assist you. Remember that you are not alone and that you deserve respect, dignity, and freedom. Gaslighting is a serious form of psychological abuse that can have devastating effects on the victims. However, it is possible to recognize, resist, and recover from it. By being aware of the signs, causes, and techniques of gaslighting, and by following the tips we discussed, you can protect yourself from this harmful behavior and reclaim your power and reality. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Until next time, this is Mr. Amer from Reddit. Watch it more. Signing off.